but I am interested in your views. If you've got particular views about AI and what it can be used for, and what's actually available now that actually makes videos that you can make videos out, just to get a sequence.
Could I ask a first question? How was this first image, the image of the woman in red, generated if it was AI?
I don't know. It's produced, but yet Sora.
So it's a new unreleased model that can actually create a coherent sequence of images, because up till now there aren't many models that can actually, it's not, the machine isn't cognizing the image, it's creating a sample of lots of different relationships of different images to language. So it's very hard to get, from the current models that are available, it's very hard to get a coherent sequence of images, because the machine doesn't actually have any tracking of the relationship between the two. So you get a lot of like vistas and stuff which people have managed to cobble together through just trying over and over again to get a sequence that works.
It's starting to happen.
It is, so it's now.
Because there's storyboarding software where you can actually have.
So that's the development now, which we're going to have, that exists and will be publicly available in the next few days or weeks or whatever. That do actually, so the model actually understands sequences, and that's been going on in research models for quite some time. It's all just about to happen, and it's it's photorealistic or whatever style you tell it you want, which and it's using the controversial aspect is that its source data is everything. So any video, maybe all of YouTube, all of the Disney films ever made, every film ever made. So there's this whole copyright aspect, and someone can write a prompt saying, "Oh, do I want this story in the style of this animator with this." It's very exciting, but at the same time, it's quite scary, also, is it just going to homogenise everything to a point where there's no real art to anything? It's just the art. There's definitely in terms of story writing, and it's very exciting. But if you're a visual artist, I think it's like where's that going to go? And also, if you've got a lot of source material that someone's aping, what's that? What are the ethics of that? It's huge. It's massive. Difficult.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Dave, we did an experiment with one of my characters, who's a rather autistic elderly vicar who's been put out to a church out in the middle of nowhere, and he's found an ancient document. And I won't tell you the rest of the story because you're not but basically there he is, and it took me about 6 hours to develop this character, including his backstory, all of and a drawing of him, which is, and I'm completely an amateur, so that's an amateur drawing. So in 6 hours we came up with this character in my animatic, and we pumped that into Skylar, and it came out with about 15 more drawings, and all of them are wrong. None of them are an improvement. We've got this guy who's clearly he's got his hair, he's quite aggressive, he knows what he's doing, he's not autistic at all. We've got this guy who's straight out of anime. Then there's another one where it's almost reproduced my drawing, except he's got 8 fingers and 3 hands. And the last one, I don't know how it got it, but it's actually an exact picture of one of my friends. So I'm happy to post that on the website, Martin, on the Facebook page, if you'd like to.
Yes, please, that would be.
But it was an interesting experiment that it took 6 hours to program AI to do something that was wrong. I don't know how much that reflects everybody else, but it just, the artist, and I'm by no means as good as any of you guys, that it didn't reflect, after 6 hours of programming, it didn't reflect what I wanted.
I've been doing some stuff. I've been doing quite a lot of stuff with AI, and I've looked at storyboarding, and it's not. I can draw faster and more accurately at the moment than what it pumps out for what I want. But more interestingly for me is there's 1 or 2 sites where you can write and designate voices to your script while you're working. So you can actually almost like write a radio play in real time and have the performances come back at you, which you can then edit. And this is, for me, doing animation, this is really interesting because it allows me to kind of assemble the stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go forward with those voices because I want better performances, but it is infinitely better than having no feedback while you're working. And to hear, a passable performance is really interesting. I think that's interesting. And this stuff is going forward. I mean, it is scary. I've personally been online, and there are facilities for you to ask for your things not to be used within the models.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been asking for my work not to be used within the models, and I've been paying for stuff that is actually paid for and credited as part of the models that I've been using. There's going to be a lot of problems in the animation industry, particularly I think the high-tech industry, because the demarcation now of all the skills, those areas of like whether it be rigging or modelling and stuff like those, I think a lot of those areas are very, very open to being taken over, or at least being, mechanised by processes. Back when I started doing animation, which was like late 80s, early 90s, everybody had much broader skills, or the majority of people had much broader skills because they made short films, and if you did slightly off-kilter thing, everybody had their own method that they developed to do stuff. So you had the ability to produce a film over a whole range of ways. And some people, independent animators, still do. But I think what has happened is that there's an enormous vulnerability where there's been the animation industry to this stuff coming in mechanising areas. And there's going to be a lot of sadness around it. But I think it's inevitable because people are going to make money out of it, so they're going to use it. In a way, one of the good things that has happened is that you can't copyright AI work in America. So it opens then to production people to issues about protecting their work. So if they use AI, they may be opening themselves up for reuse of their work, and they won't want that because it's for financial reasons. So it's a complicated thing. I test it out every time a new model comes out, and I would ask, you can try it, ask it to write a spoonerism, any of them, any of the AIs, ask them to write spoonerisms. Give me 10 brand new spoonerisms. It can't do it. And you would think that because it's a structure with a set of rules, you should be able to do it. It doesn't. And there's this whole hallucination thing that goes on with it. It's interesting, and it's scary, but it's the capitalist world, isn't it? It's those with money can build bigger vacuum cleaners to suck the money out of those with less money. So, it's going to happen. I don't know. It's strange. It's strange times. But I think that it's one of the saving graces is to say, okay, it's gone out into the world of, sucked all the stuff off the internet by the internet. But the other thing about the internet is that nobody goes to the library to buy shopping brochures. You know, like a huge amount of the internet is just this appalling dredge of stuff. So to have a sort of critical build within your own work and keeping your eye on your own work, you have a massive advantage over AI stuff, I think, at the moment. Who knows?
Any other closing thoughts before we proceed? Anyone want to give me a little summing up?
There's a really good video essay by Alan Warburton called The Wizard of AI that maybe it's a few months out of date, but it's a really snappy summary of the problems of dilemmas and aesthetics that come with these new models, these recent models. So yeah, The Wizard of AI on video, I think Alan Warburton is worth a Google.
Okay.
How about, can anyone recommend software, the best software that's available today for doing anything with AI?
Yeah. No, I can't. I just deferring the question. Yeah. I mean, I would be interested in using AI to plagiarize your own work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
indeed.
you turn the films that you did 10, 15 years into $1 billion epics.
Well, that's a very optimistic concluding statement.
All right, $1 billion epics that don't sell.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. If you don't mind, I'd like to post this on our YouTube channel, because I think a discussion of this at this moment now is a very valid thing. So unless anyone objects, I'd like to post that probably later this evening. Okay.